Alright, let's have a look at the volumes first. Just turn that down just a little bit so you all can hear me. Welcome everyone, welcome. Hello YouTube, I'm sorry I've been gone so long. So, this is Tower Commander. It's been customized a little bit already. And the idea is this will be a custom hive fleet inspired by Call of Cthulhu, Eldritch themes, that kind of thing. So, I've already got it sort of wound up with some vines, leaves. The whole idea with it being sort of very swamp themed, very, you know, dark waters, murky waters, that kind of themes going on. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of work on the base. Just to get some colour down there. So, I'm going to make sure I got all the paints that I need. Morning, Indy. Welcome in. I hope you're well. So, there's a lot going on this model already. It's not going to be a simple model. I can say that for now. I'm just doing some colors. I'm going to build up the base quite a bit, but I want some colors down right on the bottom, just to sort of map out some future changes and additions that will help me work out where everything goes, basically. Corax, welcome in. I hope you're well. Love the emote. So, as I was just explaining, this is a custom hive fleet. Hive fleet? Got Tyranids on the brain today. It's a custom set, so a custom branch of the Tau. I'm taking a lot of heavy inspiration from things like Call of Cthulhu, from Lovecraft, from War of the Worlds. Very ancient alien kind of swamp creature, eldritch horror type situation here. I don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll see. Still kind of developing it as we go. Still headache from an earlier nap. Oh, I'm sorry, Indy. Well, I hope this helps. I hope it helps calm you and relax you. So these colors are going to they're going to look very rough and patchy on the bottom. That's okay. I've got some basic materials that I'm going to add to it, and it's going to look very different when it's done. But this is just to sort of give me a base and a guide to work from. So I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming today. I don't know if I'm going to do all of this at once or if I'm only going to get part of it done. But I'm going to do as much as I can. Claire, hello, lovely. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a wonderful, comfy weekend. I miss you. Okay, let's go with this next. So, base is gonna sit and settle for a bit. I'm gonna work on the main body. Basic base colors to start off with. Well, oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you're feeling better now, though. I'm glad you're feeling better. If you're feeling up for company over the next couple of days, I'm gonna be around as usual. It's been a while since we've had some games. How am I? I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. I went back to work this week, so adjusting to that, adjusting to getting back to a normal routine, basically, after being off for so long. Excuse me a moment. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. As you can tell, still suffering with hay fever a bit. But other than that, I am well. Okay. So yeah, with this, I'm hoping I can get a sort of iridescent metallic kind of look on the go for the main armor. So I'm interested to see how this is gonna go. I'm down. Awesome. Awesome. I'll be around. I have definitely spent far too much time on my own the past few weeks. Though that was partly my own choice, because sometimes you just need to reset the social battery a little bit, you know? Okay. Yeah, this whole model needs a layer of silver, basically. So this might take a little while to wind in around all of the vines and things. Okay. But I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone's had a nice, relaxing weekend. Doing all of their favourite things. I've been reading an insane amount recently. I rediscovered my love for the Witcher books. I knew I always loved them, but I hadn't read them again in a long, long time. So it's almost like reading them for the first time. and just kind of falling in love with the universe all over again. Which is why, if anyone in chat's played The Witcher 3, you might recognise some of the music from today. And I forget how different how many differences the books and the games have. Still both equally fantastic, though. Let's make sure I get that corner there too. I've been looking at some candidates for a new stream game. Thinking I might do a story game night or something like that, you know. But I need to find one that I can really get my teeth into. I'm not sure yet. Yeah? Story night. I need to figure out a proper schedule for everything, basically. Not just for streaming, but for offline stuff too. I'm not very good at staying on track. But I'd like to do a proper story game, you know? Something like The Witcher 3 or maybe an Elder Scrolls game. Something with a lot to it that you can just kind of fall into. I did try The Witcher 2, but I just did not get on with the controls. And the controls kind of ruined it quite a bit for me. Unfortunately. But I do love the story of The Witcher 2. And just The Witcher in general, the universe of The Witcher is awesome. I've said before, it's one of my favourite fantasy universes. Paint on my thumb? It's just my thumb. If you mean on my other one, it's just a small cut. It's nothing serious. I unfortunately don't have plasters at the moment, so I can't cover it up, which I would do normally. Get those. So at the moment, this is all going to be a base coat. This is all to try and give. So I'm basically trying to create a color, a metallic color. The problem is, the color that I've picked, it's very difficult to create a metallic of that color, because I want a very, very dark purple. This is the color that I'm aiming for, which is not easy. You know, I want an almost black kind of purple. I will probably have to make it much lighter than I intended, but I still want it to be more purple than anything else. So I can't really use the method that I would normally make for metallics, which is to paint it silver and then use contrast paints over the top, because that's about as purple as I can get that using that standard technique, which is not very purple, unfortunately. It's not got that intensity of color that I want. So I'm having to use other methods, which is a cool challenge. Something I've not tried before. Or not tried for a very, very long time. Hen, welcome in. It's good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're having a good morning. But my idea is to mainly do this sort of purple and green. So dark purple, electric green. I might try freehanding some runes as well. But the base is going to be very swamp looking. So very dark, murky water, lots of vines, leafy vegetation, that kind of thing. And I've got this guy, and I've got a little team to go with him. But this one's going to be the big one. It's going to be the one that really shows off the colors. The gunmetal shades. So there are silvers and some metallics, but in terms of something like metallic purple or metallic blue, you kind of have to mix them yourself. You could probably find pre-mixed ones, but they're not as easy to find as, you know, gold or silver or what have you. And they're not necessarily great to work with. Like, metallic paints are notorious for not always being the best. They're usually a pain in the butt. Or they wreck your brush. Because of the little, like, shiny pigments in them that make them look metallic. So the brush that I'm actually using is pretty much on its way out anyway, which is why I don't mind using it for this. But my advice is try to avoid using metallics on brushes you like, because it might wreck your brush. Yeah, metallic paints and spray paints are tricky to find as well. It is true. I know I can get silver and gold. But yeah, like I said, like the colors that I'm looking for in this, it's 9 times out of 10, if it's not a straightforward color, you're probably better off mixing your own. The exception would be for things like UV paints or the color shift paints, like the ones that I use frequently these days. That sort of thing. The sort of what I would consider ultra specialist. If you can find them pre-mixed, use those. But if it's just a bit of a weird color or a specific color that you have in mind, mix your own. Because you'll be happier with the result in the long run than getting a pre-mix one that's not quite there. Okay. I don't know, at least for model painting. For other things, you know, it may be different. For model painting, it's almost always easier and more satisfying to mix your own if you've got a very specific idea of what the color is. The color that you want is. And metallics are almost universally the worst to find and paint. Silver, bronze, gold, rose gold. Oh yeah, I've seen more variety in basic metallics these days. So yeah, like silver, gold, bronze, rose gold, that kind of thing. What I would say is sort of more like natural metallics. They are easier to find because they're more popular and people will use them in home improvement and things like that. Weird metallic paints is like metallic blue, for example, is a really good one. It's one that's quite popular, but no one can ever find it. That's really hard to find, and you're almost always better mixing your own. Maybe PAX fan this year? Nice, Cindy. I don't like, for me, obviously I'm not going to PAX this year anyway, But if it was an option, I probably would wait anyway myself, because you know, there's very much an active pandemic going on here in the UK, and I wouldn't want to expose anyone to that. I'm hoping next year will be better though. I'm currently making plans as though next year is going to happen. Now, I can't guarantee that it will at the moment. I am a very long way off that at the moment. But I am trying to have that. Trying to, what's the word? What's the phrase? Trying to manifest that. Oh yeah. Trying to manifest PAX 2023 with all of my favorite people. And everything needed to make that happen successfully. Now, the more short-term plans, I'm looking at sort of getting myself a little bit more settled into a routine again. After several weeks of not being able to do a routine. And, like I said, maybe introducing a regular story stream day. If I did do that, what day would everyone want that on? I was thinking Friday nights. Maybe. But I know a lot of people stream Friday nights. So I was also thinking a midweek one might be an option. Okay. People. Oh wow, that's promising, Indy. No, here we're still getting, you know, about 1.5. I think last week was 1,500 cases, new cases. So it's still very much a thing here. It's having routine. I do, Head. It's been nice having a break. But I do better having a routine of, you know, at the very least, like, you know, this day I do cooking, this day I do exercise, this day I do this. Just sort of very, like, just a little bit more organized and a little less like, you know, oh, I'm awake now. Guess I'll do this. I feel like I've kind of done nothing for the past few weeks. Which, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. Because it was needed. And, you know, it was all health reason based. It wasn't just because I'm lazy. But now I no longer need to stop quite so badly. I can start focusing on working towards those goals again. Changing the schedule? Yeah, I mean, you gotta... The best thing that I did in terms of schedules was looking at the days that I just felt more energetic. And I tend to stream on days that I feel like I normally have more energy. Because streaming is... Even these streams, they're quite energy intensive. And I think most people in chat will appreciate exactly what I mean with that. Like, even the most chill streams, you need the concentration, you need to, you know, be able to focus on whatever it is you're doing, whether it's, you know, painting or art or games, whatever. As well as chat, as well as, you know, keeping an eye out for technical issues or whatever else pops up. And keeping that up for, you know, hours at a time, it's not easy. Streaming is not an easy job. So, yeah, picking the days where you just feel like you're more energetic. Just kind of trying to stack things in your favor. But with streaming, especially, you kind of gotta look at also where the people are for what you want to do. So if you want to stream art, you gotta think, well, when do I want to watch an art stream? Assuming that you're doing this as a business thing and not just a hobby thing. So you kind of have to keep times in the back of your head of like, okay, well, if I stream now, then, you know, the Americans will be asleep, but I'll be able to speak to the Australians. Or if I stream now, you know, a different time, it'll be good for the Europeans. You know, work to what your community wants.
Sagorbion just resubscribed for 16 months, or heck.
Yannick, thank you so much for 16 months. Holy crap. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good morning. Look at in zone chat and someone joke they can get moving. Hey, that's me. No, it's cool. I kind of love looking at this sort of stuff. Like, I love looking at the analytics page for my community. Just because I'm curious. Yeah, I'm just like, oh my god, I get, you know, this percentage from this place that I never even considered. That's kind of nuts. Yeah, or I didn't realize I had, you know, 56% of my community in common with hens, or, you know, like fun things like that. But it is also helpful for helping you plan streams. It's partly why I started doing more painting streams, is because, you know, people like them, and I like them. It's like, everybody likes these. And ultimately, streaming is about giving your community more of what they like, so that they keep coming back. But also, Hen, if you're interested in, or anyone actually, not just Hen, but if you're interested in the business side of streaming and like the mechanics, I guess, of streaming, and things like how advertising payments work and all that sort of stuff, Devin Nash on YouTube is a really, really cool resource for stuff like that. He's got a lot of videos on like marketing and how social media works and how Twitch compares to YouTube, compares to Facebook, and all this sort of thing. And he owns his own marketing company, so he does know what he's talking about. And it's just really interesting to hear that sort of perspective. I can tell you package drives the paints and stuff. Nice. Do you know what you're gonna start on first? Magic, welcome then. Good to see you. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good weekend. You want to find a paintbrush? Okay, yes, but but, and don't get me wrong, I will forever and always prioritize the stuff that I enjoy the most, because, you know, like we've always said, and you know, anyone who's been on Twitch longer than 10 minutes knows that the best streams are the ones where everyone's having fun, no matter what's going on the screen. So, you know, at the end of the day, do the things that you enjoy, everything else will follow. But you can do the things that you enjoy and then also keep in mind what's healthiest for your channel if you want to consider channel growth, monetization, all that kind of thing. And yeah, and sometimes that does mean, you know, looking at it like a business. And I tend to do sort of, you know, an afternoon a week, maybe. I go through my own channel analytics, I go through videos from people like Devin Nash, I will do a business-minded look at my channel. And I don't do it more than once a week. Sometimes I don't even do it that often, because one, you know, my channel's not that big, so there's not so much data to go through. But two, I don't want to get stuck in the numbers. So I try and do it on a day that's quite far away from any of the streaming days. And it helps. It's nice to know that information, but it's also just nice to sort of get a better understanding of what I need to do, even if it's not something I can do right now. Try the contrast method on the Marines and then you decide. Nice. Oh, you got two of the white handle brushes? I actually kind of prefer them. I'll be honest. I feel like they hold up a bit better against, especially against stuff like, you know, contrast paint, metallic paints. The only thing that annoys me is how mucky they look, even if you clean them. Like, unless you just go to town with them with, like, bleach and stuff like that, they just look grubby after one or two uses. Because, you know, no matter how well you clean it, some things are just gonna stain. Like, for example, this one I've used 2, maybe 3 times, cleaned it insanely thoroughly, and it's still, like, you know, it looks battered. Okay. Oh, you have a week holiday! I forgot you mentioned that, Magic. I hope you're relaxing and getting all the rest. Yeah, in your right hand, it is good to look from multiple perspectives. Otherwise you end up, you know, stuck. You don't want to end up stuck or feeling trapped because you know, you spent 5 years streaming a single game and suddenly no one plays that game anymore and you don't know what to do. because, you know, the one thing that people wanted to watch you for, nobody wants to watch anymore. Or, you know, you only ever streamed Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and then suddenly you got a new job and they want you to work Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So now you can't stream at your regular time and you lose all those people who could only watch you at that time. Yeah, it's good to be able to build something that can withstand change and, you know, stand for longer than 10 minutes on its own. Be yourself and the heretics together. Exactly, Indy. And fun fact, the true meaning of heretic is just someone who doesn't follow the established rule. Just means people who are different. It doesn't just have a religious thing. It's not just, you know, people who aren't Catholic. You're driving out to your relatives. That sounds nice, Magic. I hope you have a lovely time. I know. I am. I will admit, I am a big old nerd with this sort of stuff. I like learning about the background stuff. So I like, you know, I feel like it's a good thing for people who stream on Twitch with the intention of making a living off of it to actually understand things like, you know, how advertising works, or, you know, how the YouTube algorithm works, or whatever. I think it's good, but I'm also genuinely interested, because for someone with no background in that sort of thing, it's really fascinating. And I like picking up new knowledge. So picking up new knowledge that's also kind of useful. It's like a win-win situation. Anyone who's wondering what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just blocking out color still. So this is just the base layer for the color on the vines. I actually intend to make these mostly green, but I want to have brown, you know, brownish, muddy kind of colors in there, so I'm putting brown under there first, and then I'll do a sort of really heavy dry brush effect on those vines with a dark, murky green to make them look more plant-like and less wooden. Plus this covers up the silver. Run and say hi? No worries, Magic. Drive safely. I appreciate you stepping in. I do hope you have a wonderful week off, and a lovely time with your family. Oh, hi, Vess. Welcome in. Caught me rambling, as usual. You just menaced? What even is that? Missed me rambling. Talking about, all the behind the scenes stuff when you stream on Twitch. You know, like learning how algorithms work and stuff like that. One thing I still haven't learned, which I really would like to know, is how YouTube creators mainly work out when the algorithm changes, other than posting and realizing that suddenly the thing doesn't work anymore. Yeah, how did YouTube creators suddenly realize that you can't swear within the first minute of the video, otherwise you get demonetized? For example. Whether it's, you know, yeah, told. Oh, sorry, I never bothered with. Oh, hey, like you stream for a hobby. You don't stream as a business, so that makes sense. You don't have to bother with it if you're not planning on doing anything other than just enjoying the act of going live. And also, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? How's your week been? I don't know if there's a newsletter that goes out or something that YouTube just goes, hey guys, if you swear in the first minute, you'll be demonetized from now on. That's what I'd like to know. Guidelines. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking it's probably a word of mouth thing. Which is really annoying. Because, you know, folks don't always have the time for word of mouth when you also have a full-time job. It's kind of hard to have 2 full-time jobs, you know. Had to get to bed because of early start. Yeah, I remember you saying. That sucks. I hope it's I hope it goes quickly for you, Tess. I really do. Yeah, like quizzing an employee and spreading a bit. I don't know. I need to. That's my current sort of question about how this whole stuff works. That's what I'm currently trying to find the answer to. Like, how do people find out about this shit? So far, it does seem to be word of mouth. It usually seems to be a case of, you know, a big channel gets demonetized and, you know, go, oh, guys, by the way, this is a thing now. Or, you know, people just kind of figure it out through trial and error. Or it comes, because I know it can come up on the YouTube dashboard as well when you upload. Sometimes it'll come up with like, oh, contested audio or whatever. But yeah, a little bit annoying it's not more transparent. No time, no worries, and take it easy. Enjoy the nums. Right. Also, I actually finally went out and got myself a proper mixing palette. So you might see this appear on the side a bit more often. So I'm not using, you know, the bottom of the upside down bases and things like that anymore. Using actual mixing. moving up in the world. Getting all the fancy kit. Yes, something like that. Well, this is my version 2 for metallic purple. Which is, yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work. It just might be that the metallic isn't as strong as I want it to be, and that'll have to be fine. But yes, sometimes getting the proper kit is helpful. Sometimes. Occasionally. Okay, and then up here as well. I'm hoping the shininess kind of still comes through a bit. I'm trying to sort of wet blend the iridescent in rather than having it as a full layer on top. So it's not so obvious and not so strong compared to how I've done it before, where it's been a really strong, heavy layer on top. This one's a little more subtle. A little. Mention purple, Claire will appear shortly. Claire is lurking, I think. Imagine it exists for a reason? I mean, yeah, you know. Probably it has its place, but it's not always necessary, I feel. It depends. Like, I didn't mind using improvised kit initially, because I didn't know how often I'd need, you know, a mixing platform, I guess you could call it. Turns out adding some new tools to the arsenal means I'm going to need it more often. For things like mixing the iridescent paints, mixing the water resin with colors to create different color resins, I guess you call it. So, you know, it was worth the investment. But if I wasn't going to do so much of it, I'd probably just stick to improvising. Okay. Okay, so that's very, very subtle. You can just sort of see the blue shimmer in some places, which is what I wanted. So that's good. I'm happy that's worked out. It's not as dark as I wanted it, It's more of a bright purple. That's okay. It's a nice purple. I'll take it. Clear summoning circle. Is that what we're doing here? Here you go, the color purple, Canna Mother. A good movie. I've always been curious, like, what people would put in a summoning circle for myself. It's always very telling of what sort of, you know, persona you give out to the world. There you go. I'm happy with that. Not what I initially planned, but it still very much works, and it looks good, so I'm happy with that. Brush your teeth, climb into bed. No worries, Thaz. Take it easy. I'll hopefully catch you later. But if not, I hope it all goes well this week for you. And take it easy, sleep well. And thank you for stopping in, as always. Okay. Going back to what I was talking about before about story games, one series that I've not touched that I'm kind of interested about. I might do an Assassin's Creed playthrough of some description. Because I have both Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Odyssey. Both are eras that I'm extremely interested in. So the Norse era and ancient Egypt, ancient Rome. Odyssey has a lot of really high ratings too. Like it generally seems to be very well regarded as an RPG, especially, not just an action game. So I'm considering that one. because it looks like it could be fun. And then God of War also exists. I haven't even started that yet because I got too busy. I think I tested it to see if it actually worked on my PC. Okay. This is where you start to see the differentiation between parts like guns and joints, and then the actual armor-plated stuff, which is kind of cool. That differentiation really, really helps in making it start to come alive a little bit. Yeah, when your vents are a different color to your armor, which is looking different to the weaponry, suddenly it starts looking like a distinct thing rather than a blob of plastic. I don't know. That's how I see it anyway. I like the stage when it starts to come alive. Okay. Bunch, welcome in. It does have some nice stacker. Thank you. And Helen, welcome in too. Good to see you both. I hope you're well. Now, believe it or not, this is my first ever tower model. I have never painted a tower before, of any description. So, naturally, instead of doing it nice and easy and following the instructions, I'm doing it my own way. But, I'm liking how it's going so far. Hopefully, you all approve. Okay. Bunch of distractions. Never gone to the actual game side, but I always love the fluff. I started off with the fluff, played the game for a bit, and then decided that the fluff and painting was way more interesting and stopped playing the game. So I kind of came full circle. These days I don't really play very often. But I love painting, as you can probably tell. Tao had the problem of being the new kid. Yeah, they had to work harder to impress everyone. They were introduced later than more or less any other race, I think. Apart from maybe the Harlequins. But without the benefit of being hilariously powerful. So, I get why... I kind of understand why they always got a short shrift. I think it's also because they have cooler guns than Space Marines. So, you know. Space Marine players got a little bit upset about that. Bunch of Daka. We all love Daka here. Gotta love them pew-pews. Yeah, I do like the tower. I think they're cool. You know, they're better than loyalist Space Marines, you know? Says the heretic. In more sense than one. Okay. Actual future weapons. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They've got, you know, railguns and all sorts. Have I played D&D? Yes, Howley. I have played D&D for many, many years. I am between games currently, but I have many, many, many years experience with D&D. It's a huge, huge part of my personality. I just don't have a current game, sadly. Because my area's got too many players and not enough DMs. And I don't want a DM, I want to play. More Daka has been personal philosophy. That's a good philosophy to have. You know, accuracy by volume. It works. Sorry, I keep bonking the camera today as well. I apologize. Some minor earthquakes. Like for the first time in 2 weeks. I'm excited for you, Howley. Sounds fun. Can you tell me anything about the game or your character yet? Man. I was 10 when I first started D&D. I was such a baby. I still have the first mini as well. Check out before I even really started painting. D&D's great. Relax, have fun, listen to your DM. Don't forget, you're not you. You're your character. So you might know what a dragon is, but does your character? That's the trick to D&D. One shot of Pathfinder. Aww. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad you enjoyed D&D, Indy. I absolutely love D&D. All forms. Pathfinder, Starfinder, GURPS, 5th Ed, AD&D. I played the version of D&D that was in Stranger Things. That was my introduction to D&D. It was awesome seeing that. Like, I actually slightly teared up seeing that. Just the sheer nostalgia. Good times. This is only matter if you're not hitting. Good point. "100 shots have a better chance of hitting than one. Because it only takes one." Nothing right. Perry Thunderslap. That sounds cute. Sounds fun. You looking forward to it, Holly? CN Alchemist. That's a dangerous combination, bunch. Chaotic, neutral, alchemist. Please tell me you're a goblin. Brisky Jubilee. Hey, that sounds fun. Challenge death to a game. Yeah, I've seen various iterations of that comic over the years. This is a good one. No, the seeing that monster manual and that DM screen and Stranger Things, it just made me so happy. I have copies of my own, but I'd never seen them outside of my own copy and my old DM's copy until then. And it was just such a nostalgia rush. I know, but I played in my first campaign lasted nearly 8 years. So from when I was 10 to when I was 18. That was something I'll never forget. Human moves quite twisted. It's true. True, that would make sense. Sounds almost Jekyll and Hyde-ish. Except without the good doctor. Character doing spell marks a con save to see how it affects them. Sounds good. Is that like a pre-made one-shot indie, or was that a custom that someone did? I've heard of similar things before. You know, like beer races and that sort of thing. They're fun. My personal favorite was one that I stole off my old DM. It was a gladiator arena. Because you could, you know, vie for points and favors and whatnot beforehand. So if you happen to be a blacksmith, for example, you could earn a few gold coins before the thing started by showing off some skills. So of course everyone wanted to take up like alchemy and stuff like that so they could start doing fireworks. Just things like that, and because it was AD&D, it was a little more forgiving with what the skills could do. So it was quite fun coming up with justifications. Basically, if you had to pick a skill and what you intended to do with it and why that skill would allow you to do that thing. And our DM would set the DC and see what you came up with. It was really funny. Fastest move. Does that? Oh, that sounds great, Bunch. That's a great character concept. Oh my goodness. I love that. Person who DM'd wrote it. That's cool, Indy. I hope you had fun with that. I miss D&D. I miss doing a campaign. Specifically. I don't know, there's something really magical when all the factors align and you get a really good group. With a good mix of characters. You just, you know, explore the world together. Okay. Sorry, a little bit of concentration mode going on here while I do the last little bits on this color section. Just making sure I don't go too over the top with anything. Making sure the colors look at least a bit even and consistent. Put my name in the hat for me DMing. I want to play. I'm holding out for an actual play. I want to be a character again. Don't get me wrong, DMing's fun. And I can do it. I wouldn't consider myself particularly great at it, but I can do it. I'm certainly no Matt Mercer, put it that way. But I haven't played in so damn long. And that was the bit I loved. And a really good DM who just took you on this journey. Anyway, hopefully I'll find it again. Need to get onto Roll20. Risky Jubilee? I mean, I wouldn't say no. If there's recruiting going on. The advantage to having a pretty strong British accent is that if you're playing with majority American viewers and people, they get a kick out of your regular accent enough that you don't need to put a fake one on. This is what I found. Because I am terrible at voices. And impressions. My only impressions are British or extra British. It is my regular voice or talking really poshly in my regular voice. Okay. Just doing the last few bits of tidying up here. Just making sure there's no parts that I've really missed for now. Like I said, this stage is all about blocking out the colours. It's not about necessarily being too tidy on them. Making sure I get that coverage. Heretic British. Yeah, that's the extra posh version, indie. Okay. I think we got it all. Right. I think all the bits that need to be purple are at least mostly purple. And so far as I can see. Right. I had about I had a campaign that was a long campaign, and then I also had a 8 installment campaign written up. Is in third ed D&D. It's 3 or 3.5, something like that. But yeah, sadly I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, scheduling and all that jazz was kind of scuppered my chances a lot. Okay. Actually, before I do that, let's go here. So I'm actually going to put a layer of white down wherever I'm going to have this bright green. Just because then it's going to really pop out. Be a really bright, vibrant colour. Which is what I want. I want it to be a really strong contrast to the purple. So wherever there's a white dot, that's soon going to be green. I can get to it. I'm also doing some white over a lot of the lenses as well, to give the impression of, you know, glass or a shine. The lenses will probably have a different color as well. But for the time being, I'm leaving them white. Until I get a better idea of how this is going to look overall. Okay. So it's sort of a localized primer, if I'm honest, this one. Alright. And little dot up here. Big dot there. So I'm just going very steadily through the model. So I don't want any of the purple or the like, shine that I built up to come through on any of these parts that I'm marking out. It's gonna look a little weird if it does. So having that extra layer there to sort of act as a buffer will also help with the overall finish. At least that's the plan. Okay. It's so tricky painting when it's bright and sunny outside. The light is great. I can see super clearly, but because I'm sat in front of a window, I keep seeing like really nice summer sunshine outside. And I'm like, I would like to go sit in the sun and read now, please. It's distracting. It's very nice to look at if you take a stretch or hydration break. Which, if you haven't done it already, go do that now. Stretch your legs, relax your shoulder, drink some water. If you don't want to stand up, at least, rotate your shoulder a couple of times. Loosen off any tension. Make sure you're sitting comfortably. Hot dinner would help with this. Ooh, cheese pizza with bacon. Sounds good. Well, I'm making a roast dinner tonight. Myself, indeed. I'm doing roast pork with crackling, roasted veggies, sweet and normal roasted potatoes, stuffing, gravy, all that good stuff. But lots of veggies, lots of gravy, home-cooked meat. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't had roast pork in a long time, so it's nice to mix up the diet occasionally. So most of my day after stream is going to be focused on meal prepping. Like I said, I've got that pork to do. I've also got lunches to do. Got some turkey to marinate. I've got some veggies to chop up for a dinner that I'm doing later in the week, next week. I try and do all that stuff, or as much of it as I can, on the weekend when I've got a bit more time. And it means I can relax a bit more. When I get to it. Gives me more time around dinner time as well. Feast fit for a heretic, hopefully. I haven't done a roast dinner in a while. And there's usually a good amount of leftovers, so it's good for, meal preps. So any leftovers are just as good the next day. And with pork, you can chuck it in a stir fry. You can chuck anything left over into soup or a sandwich. That kind of thing. So I think I'm probably not going to fully finish this today, because there's going to be so much tidying up to do in terms of tidying edges. I'm not going to be able to finish that. That's going to take a whole session on its own, I reckon. But I should get most of it done today. So I should have a good idea of how this is going to look once we're done. The most evil thing ever in Mario Kart? What's that then, Indy? Okay. I'll work a little bit on the additions that we've got here. That's a lot of paint on the brush. No, thank you. A little bit less than that. Make sure I get the underside of the leaves too. Because even if you don't look for it, you'll see it. So I'm learning with that sort of thing. There, as rounding the final time, the race blocks of red shell, then spins 180 at the finish line. And hits second place with a bomb on. Oh my goodness. That's just showing off. That is just showing off. That's awesome though. Well played to whoever won that. That is really cool. I for a while I was watching a couple of people do speed runs. I don't know if anyone else follows the Yogs. I was watching a couple of them do Mario Kart speedruns for a while. It got pretty intense, but I think it's all died off a little bit. I think everyone got a little bit bored of playing the same, like, I think it was 8 tracks or something, over and over and over. It was cool to watch. Especially because a lot of them had never really done speedrunning like that before. So watching people getting into it and like the friendly competition and all that was nice. Alrighty. So I'm deliberately kind of trying to introduce slightly alien-looking greenery. I don't want it looking too familiar, but I don't want it looking... I don't want it distracting from the model either. So... just kind of adding a couple of little shots of weird colour in there, whilst also keeping it kind of sensible. But I want it to be... I want it to look lively. I don't want it to look like dead greenery. I want it to look alive and healthy. And potentially bad for one's health. If you catch my drift. If you know anything about the 40k universe, you probably do. The big Tarsinku, welcome in. It is, this is a town commander. He, well, he, she, they, would, you know, they'd be in charge of the whole deal. I do also have, some crisis battle suits that I'm going to be painting up. Very similar to this. In the not too distant future. But for now it's the commander's getting the treatment first. Yeah, for the greater good of madness. Because Cthulhu. Well, welcome in, Sinku. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. Or a good morning. I know it's early for you. Okay. So yeah, this is actually my first tile model, but it's a custom Sept. So the idea is that they're heavily inspired by, you know, descriptions of Cthulhu and Dagon and things like that. So think deep sea, eldritch, swamps, that kind of feel. And then I'm going on with like the purples and the greens, and kind of trying to create a swamp base. Which I'm going to be starting on a bit more now. Just kind of trying to get a better feel for how I want this to look. And these guys are my thinking, my idea. Bear in mind, this is not an official sept by any means. My idea is to have them be Death Ward specialists. So they go to the Acadian jungle and anywhere that would normally be impassable. Conquer them for the greater good. It always makes me think of Hot Fuzz whenever I hear it. Kind of half expected Tao to have a Somerset accent. Anyway. In me making notes on mischief. As always. Yeah, the base for this is not clean, tidy, or welcoming. And honestly, the greens on here probably won't show up too much. Maybe if the mud is a bit thin in places or what have you. It's gonna be very muddy and unpleasant looking. I'm sure anyone who's ever been to a swamp can attest. They are not clean places. I'm just getting that out the way to make sure it doesn't transfer onto anything else. Okay. What I want. So I'm gonna see if I can get some color going in the actual acrylic. We'll see. I don't know how well this will work. I'm just gonna skip out some of the acrylic. Put a few drops of, I'm using contrast paint. I'm just gonna kind of mix them in the same spot and see what happens. See if the colour combines with the acrylic or if it just kind of sits there. I don't want it a strong colour, so if it doesn't work, then that's fine. And if it works quite strongly, then I can just add more acrylic. Which it's worked a lot more strongly than I thought, which is cool. So, M&Ms? Ooh, sounds good, Indy. What sort of M&Ms though? The regular kind, the peanut kind? Sorry, I'm not mixing this on screen. I just realised I should probably have done that, but it's a little bit of an improvised technique. I'll show it off next time. So, before and after. I don't know how strongly the colour will come out once it's dry. Bear in mind the acrylic dries completely translucent. They're completely colourless. Oops. So we'll see. So I'm just gonna grab any contaminated acrylic out there and just sort of scrape it off. Like crispy ones? Oh, like violet crumble ones? Or crunchy? That sounds good, actually. I'll try those. We have brownie ones here, which I've been eager to try at some stage. Right, I'm actually going to clean off this one. My biggest challenge with this acrylic has been to try and work out the best tool to apply it. Oh my goodness, Chaya!
Chai_08 just resubscribed for 41 months.
Welcome in, Shay. Thank you so much for the resub. 41 months. It's incredibly generous of you. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good evening. And part of the reason why I wanted to get the mud on the base is to make sure that I can mix the acrylic in with it on the edges. So it looks super messy right now. It's going to. I'm hoping once it dries off, it's gonna look alright. It's a bit of a gamble, this one. I honestly have no idea how the space is gonna turn out. Wind shy. Fieldy was hyping. Oh, the brownie one's up to you? Nice. I'm yet to try them, but I'm glad Fieldy liked them. Oh no, playing DVDs is debatable. Oh, I hope people are being good to you. Well, you know, as good as they ever are in DVD. It's good to see you, Chai. I hope that outside of DVD things are going well for you. If they're not going well for you inside of DVD. This is a very big, like, have faith in your tools moment for me. I'm just hoping that everything works the way it should. And we'll see. We'll see how that works out, I guess. Okay. DVD player's good. Well, you know what I mean. I hope they're not bullying. And if they are bullying, I hope you bully them back better. Back to regular old painting. And all I'm doing is that dry brushing I mentioned earlier in the stream. Just very carefully going over, grabbing so much of this brown. Whilst not, I'm trying not to smother the brown, if at all possible. But if it happens, it happens. I'm also doing a base layer on these rounded leaves. And giving them a bit of a different coloring. to the other ones that we've already worked on. Like, I'm numb to survivors. You don't care if you camp and tunnel anymore. That's fair. That is fair. And with the state of the game as it is at the moment, that is a completely valid point to be at. I know there's a lot of changes coming through soon now, which are honestly almost enough to tempt me back into the game. They're doing a huge overhaul of everything. So I'm hoping that means there'll be a shift in how people play. Because, you know, if you can't use the shitty toxic methods anymore because the perks no longer work, then maybe they'll be pushed towards less shitty methods? Maybe? Dookie. And it is getting very warm in this room, so I might need to stop soon. Just for the sake of my brushes not getting completely clogged. But it is very slowly starting to take better shape. Starting to look a lot more how I pictured it. For those who are interested, the sunglasses look so good. For those who are interested, if you remember the Father Dagon mini that I did a while back, well, model that I did a while back with all that sort of white sea acrylic, that's how it's dried. This is Dagon. That's how it's dried. You see, it's just crystal clear. So that's the same stuff that I've done, that green on the current mini. This is the same stuff, just without any colouring in. So, if autofocus will behave. So, yeah. I'm hoping that this pale green stuff will dry in a kind of a similar way, but with a bit of a green tint to it. That's the plan. We'll find out in about 24 hours or so how well it has worked. For now, I am going to continue working on this. Adding a little bit of a little bit of a contrasting colour here. I've gone with a bit of brass. I'm just picking out some metallic detailing, basically. I think I mentioned, I know there's a lot of tidying up still to do. This is kind of a first pass attempt. So once everything's dried and settled in a couple of days, I'll go over a lot of what we've done here. Just tidy it up. I might even do an extra stream on it just so you all can see it. That's something you'll be interested in. Okay. You upset the killer? Oh no! What a shame! Did you upset the killer by surviving by any chance? I hear that's a very common crime that survivors commit in DBD. Okay. So this brass is a nice way to sort of pick out some details that might get lost otherwise. Without making it too crowded. No, I don't want it looking too over elaborate. But the commander does deserve to have some decoration on its armor. Played the game fairly and got camped. Oh, well that's rude. How dare you play fairly? Killer objected to you giving them a fair chance, apparently. I don't know. Some people are just like that, though, aren't they? They're just gonna treat you poorly no matter what you do. Sometimes the way people treat you is nothing to do with anything you did. whether it's in-game or otherwise. Still, it was rude and they should feel bad. You hear that, killer? If you're listening, that was mean and you should feel bad about it. Maybe it's what they find fun. Yeah, well, they've clearly never been on the receiving end of it. If they feel comfortable doing that to other people. So, I hope you, did well in the game before they got a hold of you. I hope you got some stuff done. Because the games that always used to annoy me in DBD, which I got far too many of before I took a break from it, were the ones where you find the killer within a few minutes. Like, I'm talking like 1 or 2 minutes in, and then they just camp and tunnel you out of the game, and I'm like, well, spent longer in the queue trying to get into the game before that happened. That is my favorite dark silver color. Come here. You almost got more BP than the ones that survived. Damn. I need you to teach me how to play D&D, Jay. And not just because I've not played for about 6 months and forgotten how the game works. Okay. So these big split color pieces. I'm thinking silver and brass is a nice color combination. Like I said, it's simple without being so subtle as to be missed. Not too ornate, but not easily missed either. So. Okay. Custom gun. So I've got, I think these are the standard ones. We've got the Gatling and I think that's the Melter. I don't know. It's not a custom gun now. It's just went out the packet. This is the generic Tau Commander. It's not a specific one. And I can't remember off the top of my head what it comes with. I'll check that for you in a moment. I'll be honest, I'm not very good at working out which gun is which. Okay, let me just finish these little bits. Never used one. I've never done one either. This is my first ever Tau model. Okay, let me just check this. Alright, run. Let's have a little triple fusion blasters. That's So we've got the one that looks like a Gatling cannon, I think is the burst cannon. And I think the other one, the one that kind of looks like this one, I think that's the either the Ion Blaster or the Tau Flamer. I'm not sure which. I'm leaning towards Flamer just because it's got what looks like a tank hanging off the bottom. Doesn't have anything, like, I can't see it specifically anywhere. Sorry, I'm pretty sure it's the Flamer though. Like I said, it's the one the instructions tell you to put on it. Okay. But yeah, and a few of these side details. So it is already getting into the high 20 Celsius in this room. Once I do these side notches, I'm probably gonna call it, because one, it's warm, and two, I'm starting to get kind of hungry. So I want to stop and take a break and get something to eat. You want to get some food, relax a little bit. Do a bit of cooking. You know, the usual stuff. So what I'll probably do, leave it there. Oh, are you gonna do the caves? Oh, an arc. Man, I have spent no time on that. That's something I needed to do. I wish it was cold here. It's currently 24 Celsius and rising. So, yeah, we're in the middle of a heat wave here. If I do that, you know, I can get a better idea of what I've been working on. There you go. That's a bit better. So yeah, I am gonna leave it there for today. I'm kind of feeling my energy drop off a little bit. So I'm gonna take a break, get rid of all this paint on my hands, and have some food. I should be back next week with a bit more of a usual schedule. I know I haven't been doing too well on the whole schedule front recently, but I should be back on that next week. Be finishing off this guy, be doing some games, maybe starting on the rest of this guy's team, that sort of thing. So I hope you all can join me for that. This will be up on YouTube tomorrow, so if you missed the beginning, you can check it out then. I think that's all the usual stuff. So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you're in the world. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now, folks.